Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars set review from BrickByBrick. Today we have a review of set number 7877, Naboo Starfighter. 318 pieces, retailed for $50. And this was released in 2011, and I believe since it has limited edition on the box, it was some sort of store exclusive, but I'm not quite sure what store. But it does include 5-ish minifigures and a nice build for the ship here, as well as that little thing, and some droids. So let's start off with the smaller little. So I think it's appropriate to start off with the destroyer droid, or droideka, or whatever they're called. This is a decent build. The ones they used in one version, the MTT, like an older version, were really cool. They had like copper colored parts. I think those were the best ones, but this one is mediocre. Built with a fewer number of parts. There is one that's based off the Clone Wars in an ATRT set that I do own. I own that version and this one. And I think I like the ATRT version better, but this one's okay. It looks decent. It's recognized, like you can tell what it is, but like it doesn't look too great. And he's here along with two battle droids, which we'll take a look at later, capturing the pilot from Naboo. But before Naboo pilot guy gets captured, he's just doing some, repairs on his ship or whatever, probably. Because he's got this little thing, and he can take this and, drive it around with the little control levers or whatever. And, he probably wouldn't need goggles for that. He's got some tools in there, a hammer and a wrench, or a spanner, as people like to call it. And he kind of hovers off the ground using these little slider plates, which does actually give it enough of a gap off the ground to look like it's kind of floating. But, since it has ball joints, when it's flat on there, it does kind of curve around. If you pick it up, though, it kind of goes like that, so not really the best for picking up, because you can then end up putting it down like that. But got some spare flick muscles at the back. You can actually flick them out of there if you want, the top two. The other ones are just clipped on, so you really can't, but still, nice to have extras of these, because you might lose the regular ones. And again, just ball jointed on. They do use the older ball joints with very little friction. And then in the center section, there's a little ladder, which, if you're wondering what that's for, you can take the Naboo Starfighter right here, and you can just, I guess we'll go around from the other side. You can see all the way over there, we are driving right underneath, and then as soon as we get through, we lift up the ladder, and then we can back up a little, and then you have a way to climb up. And I guess I should probably turn that so that you guys can really see it. But that's what it would be like. You got the little ladder just going right up to the cockpit. Could also go onto the wings. It can reach most places. Can't quite reach the back section with R2 in it, but other than, like, anywhere besides that, really, it can fix. You can climb up, do some work on the engines, anything, really. So, that's that little side build. And before we take a look at the actual Starfighter, there is another small build that's kind of hidden by default. And this is a little display stand for the Naboo Starfighter. This kind of section fits right into here, which, allows the Starfighter to slide right on top really nicely. And then once it's on, it actually spins around really well. So that's kind of like one little feature. I think that they might have designed that in order to, like in the first movie, there is kind of like, it is kind of sitting in a certain spot, and he does kind of turn it around without like moving it. So that kind of represents that, sort of. But now we can just take a look at this Starfighter. It is very bright. Like even if we take off all the lights, you can see a lot of shadows, but still most of it's visible. And if we go right up to a top angle, you can see it does have that nice shape. But back down to the ground, it's kind of got a little bit of stickering detail to kind of change up the lines. I kind of wish they just did that brick build, but it's really tough with these large pieces because the stickers don't line up perfectly, but I think they look alright. Got one in the middle too, and then there. Got these two stickers going all the way down, which look good. And then just going back around, you got these small red details, which aren't even really necessary. And then on the cockpit, either side, you got a detail like that. And then here you have two things. This thing isn't present on the other side. More sticker detail, you know, pretty cool. And then in the back, it just kind of like goes all the way off, and you can see the destroyer droid. Because this thing is really big, specifically because of these antenna pieces that it does use. The engines are a pretty cool build. They're actually very difficult to put together, but I like the gear in there that gives it just the right amount of detailing. And then on here we have a sticker on either side of this thing if we turn it all the way around, so that's cool. And yeah, they're attached on pretty securely, more securely than I was expecting. And if we go back to the cockpit, you can see obviously stickers on both sides, but it is just a 2x2 tile in there, which allows for Anakin to just stand in there or regular people to sit. And there's the control panel. If we take Anakin and just stand him straight, he doesn't quite fit, so he ends up leaning backwards a little, which I think looks good. And there's the other side of that. But there's one more feature with the ship itself, and that is that right there. You can launch R2 out, and you know, that's done with just this little ball. You just push it up, and it pushes that Technic piece in the middle, and that works. And I guess I did forget the most plain feature, and that is that if you put your finger right where my thumb is and push, you get some flick missiles. So they don't shoot too well, and I think the newer models of this ship, or I think there might be only one newer model, but whatever, any newer models of this ship do have spring-loaded shooters, which I believe you know, definitely help out with that shooting feature. But let's take a look at all of the figures. First up, let's just take a look at the battle droids to get them out of the way. Both of the ones included in the set are the same. They have one of each kind of arm. They have a red torso with, or battle droid torso, not regular torso, with some decent printing on there. You know, looks good enough. I think it would have been better to print on the red just on the front, but I'm not actually sure what these are supposed to look like. I just don't think that these red spots are supposed to be on the sides of the arms. Standard legs, so we don't need to go into that. They do get a standard blaster, and the heads of both of them are printed on the back as well, so that's pretty cool. I think that these guys are alright. I guess they might be better than regular battle droids, however they're probably less useful. And I guess next we should take a look at the other droid that's not a battle droid. And, you know, here's R2-D2. He is the standard, most common version, and he's got that torso, or he's one of the most common versions, the most common modern version. Nothing on the back, standard astromech legs, which are cool, and standard body with standard R2 printing, and the head is pretty cool as well. Mine was actually printed pretty decently all the way around. I'm not sure what this is about, if that's supposed to be like that. I need to compare it to my others. But straight on the top, you can see that looks pretty good. Pretty close to what it's supposed to be. And yeah, R2 overall looks pretty good. And here is the Naboo pilot. He appears in this set and then the little mini planet thing, which I don't own that whole set, but I did end up getting this random figure in that large lot of random stuff. He happened to be in there, so this guy wasn't super special for me. But I do like that torso print quite a bit. And there is nothing on the back, but the front looks pretty good. And the legs as well are just plain old red but look alright. And the face actually is pretty cool. I'm not sure if that face is used for anyone in particular, but it is just a nice standard flesh face. So he does also have the pilot helmet with the the big old goggles. So pretty decent figure, and he does come with handcuffs that you can handcuff him up. Maybe it would have been nice if we got a double-sided face to go with that. But for me, because it's the only one that I didn't really have, even just a version of, there is young Anakin. And he does come with this goggle, or with this cap with goggles on it. And it does include that round brick so that he can hold the cap. So that's pretty cool. Wanted to move it though, so it's not in the way. And just looking at that torso, looks pretty cool. Decently simple design, but it does have back printing, which is, not like a requirement back in 2011. So it's kind of cool to get. I like that basic facial expression, and the hair is really nice too. I don't have any of this hair. I don't think I even have that mold, so that's cool. And he does also have another expression to go with the alternate headgear, which is something that I kind of wish they did for the other guy. You can get like that. It's a little weird when he has two pairs of goggles, but still, that looks pretty cool. However, I prefer just the standard, little Anakin. But that is the last of the figures, and probably my favorite of them all. I don't believe he's exclusive at all. So, overall, this Naboo Starfighter is a pretty cool set. It does seem a little bit expensive, though, at only 318 pieces. However, the size of the actual model does kind of almost justify it, I think. I think it would have been nice if this were a $40 set. I think that would have been a little bit better. I'm not going to complain too much about the price, though, because I did get it for only $15. And that's kind of, definitely a good price for this. I'd pay 15 bucks for it. Again, I'd do it over and over. But the overall set is pretty cool. I wish, again, maybe the figures were a little bit better. I think that's probably the weakest part, but the build here looks really good. I like the way everything just comes together, and then even the side builds are pretty decent and respectable. I also like that it includes a display stand, so you don't have to just like take this and leave it on the ground. I think it looks way better when you have it on the little stand, and I was not expecting that stand to be included. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comment section below, and let me know what you guys think of the Star Wars theme as a whole. So, bye guys, and I will see you all in my next video.